All right, Mavericks. It is yet another Sunday and a wonderful time to have some more ALR racing coming our way. My name is Allo Pallo. Welcome to this live broadcast covering the Tier 3 title fight. And tonight we're doing the Dutch Grand Prix. So we definitely have a title fight in our hands with X-Robin taking the lead in the championship standings after his famous last win at the Qatar track last week. Followed by 15 points is Swendeman, and those two are realistically the only ones in the title fight anymore, with just Osvaldo and Luke with a theoretical chance. Actually, just Osvaldo who has the theoretical chance for the driver's title. So Swendeman and X-Robin, the championship leader, wants to watch. And we have a nice attendance of 17 drivers here today, whom all of I think I've seen before. So big up for Tier 3 drivers for showing up consecutively over the weeks. So it's a tad bit overcast-y looking at the Zandvoort track as we get the qualifying session underway. Zandvoort typically is a pretty difficult track to overtake in, with only overtaking opportunities really, in case there's no mistakes from our drivers. Only overtaking opportunities into turn 1, the only the long DRS zone of the track. The other one is the back straight, but there's honestly not enough length in the straight to really make a move happen, as the first car around our track seems to be a Alpha Tauri car of Casal or Salty Pepper. So yeah, the only overtaking opportunities into turn 1, possibly into turn 3 if the other driver gets out of shape. The back straight might be, but you really need to have a better exit than the driver ahead of you. And relatively short track, this Netherlands track. So it's gonna be key for the race to see whom of the drivers can follow and capitalize on the other drivers' mistakes, and all sorts of other opportunities heading their ways as Casal gets set to start his first lap of the session. Activates ERS pretty early. DRS wing right open, and we'll hop on board with Casal. Hard braking into the 50-meter board into Tarzan corner, the first corner, which Casal is seemingly going through pretty nicely. And with Casal, of course, being the first car around the track, sets the purple first sector. Extremely difficult to start to the second sector with the twisty parts, and Casal goes for a spin, but luckily can keep his car off the wall. Can he get out of the way of the Haas behind? Yes, he can. And that would be Boom, our beloved admin. He's on a lap on the medium tires, so probably getting to know his home track, or possibly saving a set. Casal had those struggles earlier on. Let's see now, Booma with the medium tires in his ass opens up the DRS and will cross the line with a 1:11.1, which is the first time of the session. Luke tops him with a 10.3. There's a Mercedes coming, and that would be Fontenau. Fontenau goes second with a 10.3 as well. And here come the big boys then. Jamie with the 9.4 goes onto the first position by almost a second. And the next car, I think, is The Red Bull of Sven also on the mediums, 10.5 on the mediums is a very good time. Sven will very likely be fighting for pole here. As the first laps are now pouring in, and I think the next car will be the Aston of Tichy. Let's see how Tichy will fare. DRS open and goes second with the 10.3. So 3 drivers in the 10.3 region. Samet goes second with the 10.0. His teammate MBMA, whom I think is a reserve, starts his lap now. Next car across the line would be Buma, whom I believe is going to be heading into the pits. Yes. So Robin, our championship leader now, with his first run of the session, what can he set? And he goes fastest with a 9.4. Just is able to beat Jamie by 0.02 of a second, so this is promising to be a relatively close session. As the McLarens are starting their laps now. So we'll see about Lars. Lars, who was looking very competitive and also to be contesting for the win last week at Qatar. Let's see how can he do the tricky Netherlands circuit. Oh, goes wide and spins, and that's the end of his session then. No time set for Lars, and he will start from the back, unfortunately. Unfortunate mistake on the first run. As MBMA goes third with a very nice lap of 9.6. So MBMA carrying the Ferrari colors with pride, as here is Apmo. A driver who has had all sorts of bad luck throughout the season, but with some good flashes of pace, goes purple on the second sector. Can he carry it across the line? That we will see very shortly. Opens up the DRS. Goes into recharge mode now, but I think it's going to be a good lap. Apmo crosses the line with a 9.9. And goes 4th fastest. As the next driver whom we're going to spectate would be Grone. I think this is his home race as well. Let's see if he has struggled with the rear end as he's had them in most of the races this season, but hopefully he can. His setup is better this time. Goes all the way down to the first gear at the stadium section, which is probably one of the trickiest corner sequences of the entire track. Grone Vogel for his first lap is gonna set a 9.9 as well and goes 4th fastest, so a very nice lap from the Red Bull driver. Jay O'Leary next up across the line. What can he set? It's gonna be an 11.1, only 14th fastest thus far, but it's still early days. Lots of time to still improve your time. Let's see. I think the first driver to start the second lap of his session, I think it might be actually Buma. Yes, it is. So let's see how our Dutch admin can do in his home race. Clips the grass on the left-hand side tires, but that doesn't really affect his performance. Maybe it's because of real life and what Max Verstappen normally does at the Dutch Grand Prix, but I normally think that Dutch people should be relatively fast around this track. I know for a fact that if Finland had a Formula 1 Grand Prix, I would. But he is not currently improving, and I think he has lifted the foot off the pedal, so no improvements for him. As here's MBMA starting another lap. But I think it's Major gonna be crossing the line next. So Major improves by a whopping 3.8 seconds, but still only good enough for 15th, so lots of time to be fun for him. As here is... No, actually Sven is about to start the lap, and we're gonna be on board with him, the championship rival. Because ALR from outside the screen has improved his time into a 9.9. A very good lap from the Lone Williams. Sorry, not Lone Williams, of course. Jamie is here, but still. Into 5th fastest he has gone. And here's Sven now immediately on the pace on the softer compound tire. The grid pretty nicely bunched up together. And Sven carrying a lot of speed through these long swooping right and left-handers to conclude the second sector. Let's see. Easy on the pace here early. He's improving by a second, so this might actually be your new provisional pole time if he can just take this to the flag. Around the final corner he goes, carries a whole lot of speed through there. And Sven, the man, is going to set a very competitive time. Let's see what it is. It's going to be a 9.5, so just misses out on Jamie and Robin late. Here is his teammate Gazelle, who is also improving, goes 5th fastest with a 9.7. A nice bit of improvement for him as well. There's Tichy, but he is, I think he's not on a lap. Oh, Osvaldo has woken up and is currently on out lap. Slimmy is not here now, so he's going to be the lone Alpine at this session. Here's Samet Turkman about to cross the line and goes fastest with a 9.3. The first one to break the 9.4 line. And Samet Turkman, quite surprisingly though, is your provisional pole leader after 2 runs, but Robin has a say on that. As here's Booma heading into the pits. There's a Mercedes about to cross the line, and I think that is Robin about to start his lap. Here's Gazelle, but not on a lap. And Abmo also not starting a lap, so let's see what can Osvaldo do. He's third in the Drivers' Championship, remember? And with a theoretical, mathematical chance to contest the driver's title, albeit a little unlikely. Osvaldo Romeo crosses the line, and it's going to be a 10.2, only good enough for 11th now. So not a whole lot of improvement, as there's 6 minutes left in the session, and our championship leader Robin is improving his time by nearly 3/10, looking to go somewhere around 9.1 region to get his righteous place at the top of the standings back to him. So ex-Robin, getting that Mercedes to the highest speed possible, goes fastest with a 9.2. The challenge has been cast. The challenge has been cast for other drivers, as Robin is your new provisional pole sitter, with Sven only currently sat in 4th. There's Grona, but he doesn't have any ERS, so I think it will be a bit of waiting game before our gladiators get set to complete their final runs here in this qualifying session. And here is Arctic Squirrel, the first driver, I believe, who is starting what will probably be his last run of the session. Currently sat in the last place of the drivers if you exclude Lars, who had an unfortunate crash during his first run and has to start all the way from the back. But let's see how the Aston Martin driver is gonna fare. A tricky season for the team, but the drivers consistently have been somewhere in the low top 10s, contesting for the points. So Arctic Squirrel starting on his lap. Let's see if he can claw his way a bit higher up the standings. Pretty cleanly through the swooping banked left-hander of turn 3. Actually not improving through the first sector, but let's see if there is more time to be found later on the lap. There is still 3.5 minutes remaining on the session. Remember, a very short lap this, so the drivers need to exit the pits somewhere around the 2-minute mark. And Arctic has found some 2/10 of improvement. Let's see if he can carry it to the line. Let's see if he can improve on his position as Arctic Squirrel completes the final corner, takes every bit of the track he can get, opens up the DRS and heads to the pits for a fresh set of rubber, I believe. So here's Kazal, who is improving by 2/10, looking to go somewhere around third. Kazal crosses the line with the new fastest time of the session of 9.2 and is able to improve on Robin by 2/100. That magic 2/100s we've seen multiple times earlier today. And Kazal is looking to contest Robin for the pole, with still one run for each of our drivers. It's going to be interesting, as Kazal, I think, is going to take a cooldown lap and then start his final run. He cannot make it to the pits and then back out again. Here's Boomer really attacking the banked turn 3, ever so difficult. Jamie has also, I think he has improved on his time, goes 9.3 and currently in third. Extremely tight qualifying session here in Netherlands. I'm gonna try and catch all the action I possibly can. But with Booma being the first one out on a fast lap, let's see what he can do. Opens up the DRS. Into the second sector line he goes. Allegedly goes purple, but I doubt it. But still looking to improve on his position by quite a margin. 2.5 tenths. Could be contesting somewhere around 6th, 7th maybe, unless there is still more time to be found. Sitsa Booma with DRS wing wide open will cross the line to go 10.0 only. Virtually no improvement, but still time for another cooldown lap. Who is the next car around our track? Sven is just starting a lap. And I think so is Jamie. But here's Samet. Let's see what he can do. He surprised us all earlier with this extremely fast lap of 9.3, which was then pole time. Now has dropped down to 4th. Virtually the same time he did on the earlier run through the first sector. Oh, and goes wide, and that's the end of his run. What about Fonda now then? About to cross the line, but he's only starting his lap. What about Major? Also starting on a lap. Oh, and there's Abmo, who has lost half of his wing at the final corner. So that will be the end of his qualifying effectively. Really unfortunate for him. Here's Booma. Let's see. Rona is behind him starting a lap. Abmo is out basically. Summit, will he have the time to start another? It's going to be really close. No, he will not, and that's the end of Summit's qualifying, as there's an AlphaTauri of Sven crossing the line now and goes 4th fastest only. So he will start this session from behind Robin. MBMA is also improving. What can he do here? Goes fastest with a 9.1. So MBMA grabs hold on the pole. There's Tichy Boom, the next car across the line is all out of ERS. Can he improve on his time? Yes, he can. Goes 12th fastest. Gazelle is all but done with this session, so What will Robin be able to do? He hasn't improved through the first two sectors, and he can't this time either. So he will be starting third. Still a few drivers to complete a lap. Major goes, J. O'Leary goes 9th. Major goes 10th. Booma not improving to the first two sectors. How will it be crossing the line? Just improves but stays 13th. And here's Grone, who will be your last driver to cross the line. He's gonna head to the pits, and that'll do it. MBMA 05 with a MBMA 05 with a surprise pole lap of 9.1. Really catches us all by surprise and takes pole here in Netherlands, with Gazelle not that far behind, and our championship leader Robin in third. Jamie with once again some good pace takes P4, and interestingly Sven will start right behind of Robin, with the start being ever so crucial here in the Netherlands, where the overtaking is difficult and safety car is very, very likely. So let's run through the grid order once more. Fontenau actually having a good improvement in the final run, goes 7th fastest and not that far behind of the leading pack. But here's how we stack up. So MBMA with the surprise pole, Gazelle 2nd, Robin 3rd, Jamie 4th, Sven in 5th. Summit after a good session ends up finishing the qualifying in 6th. Fontenau 7th, Grone in 8th, J. O'Leary 9th, Major 10th. Osvaldo 11th, Abmo 12th, Booma 13th, TJ 14th, Luke surprisingly low in 15th, only Arctic Squirrel, and Lars will start from the back and round out the grid after that very unfortunate crash. Let's see about the weather then. Ooh, a tad bit overcast. It's a bit cloudy. Let's see if we will have rain. Netherlands is a really tricky track to drive whilst it is wet. But for the time being, it would seem that we are starting in dry conditions. So let's see, MBMA with the surprise pole. Can he hold on to the lead going into turn 1? Or do our gladiators have something to say about that? As soon we're gonna have the vintage 5 red lights to start this Dutch Grand Prix here this evening. And here we go, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go. Who's gonna get the best of starts? MBMA seemingly getting off well. He's gonna retain his lead, and Sven is immediately all over the back of Robin. But for the time being, keeping him behind, and Fontenau is attacking Sven with all his power to really help his teammate in the title fight. Everybody seemingly getting off well, no yellow flags earlier on here, as Robin has already cleared Gazelle, starting on the medium tire. The softer rubber working wonders here early. As Sven has dropped 2 places, so Grone has also capitalized on the early tussle over the AlphaTauri driver Sven. So a very intensive start here, as interestingly Fontenau has started on the medium tire, soft tires. There's yellow flags, and unfortunately that's Booma who's had a spin, but luckily is able to continue. Fontenau all over the back of Sven already, and Grone hits Fontenau. Around goes Fontenau into the back. Don't think that the contact was all that heavy enough for damage, but really unfortunate for the Mercedes drivers, as the first lap has been completed, and MBMA still leading the pack with Robin very closely behind, and Gazelle looking to assist his teammate. Fontenau unfortunately has to pit, so that was the end of that soft set, I can believe. And the top 4 are running away with Grone holding up a train. There's some action behind of us, as Lars has managed to get past his teammate, starting from the final grid slot, has already made up places nicely. And being the pacey driver Lars is, he can probably crawl closer to the front as the race progresses. But let's see this first. No safety cars thus far, no major incidents. Couple of spins here and there. And let us see the starting tires on drivers. So Lars wisely has started on the soft tires and is looking to capitalize on the softer compound here early. Almost everyone on the mediums apart from Kazel, who started on the hard, so he's going to be a tad bit faster going to the end. But he's going to struggle now here in the fight against the other drivers, as there is plenty of snaking around. DRS is enabled after 2 laps of racing, so now we're going to see even more attempted moves, especially into turn 1, as Jamie is all over the back of Kazel now, looking to make use of the softer compound against the hard. Softer compound, that is the more popular choice. That is the medium. And Sven now looking to attack Rona. Will he have a lunge on the inside? No, not just yet. Summit has made it past Major. Side by side the two drivers go, and Lars capitalizes on the wide open door, and Major tries to hang it around the inside but fails to do so, and Lars is up to the points positions. And now a couple of really interesting battles forming up here early. It is absolutely crucial for Sven to clear Grone now and try and close up to his rival. Remember, there is the driver's title on the line with only 15 points between the drivers, as Jamie makes a move past Kazel, so the DRS advantage working wonders for him. And Lars also completes the move on Summit early before turn 1. Any more moves being done? No, not just yet. As Summit is now looking to attack Lars back, but let's turn our attention towards the front, where Robin has caught up to race leader and pole sitter MBMA. Let's see how long this will last, as they will soon go onto the shorter of the DRS zones. Let's see if Robin will think of anything. MBMA gets a good exit, and Robin is not deploying the DRS, as there's yellow flags in sector 2, and that's Abmo. Abmo has spun, and that will be a virtual safety car, so a slight pause on the battles at hand. And if you're a soft runner such as Lars, the lone soft runner, I think you should consider pitting. I do not know the weather forecast for this one, but now you wouldn't get a free pit stop per se, but at least a lot cheaper, as into the pits hits Grone, and I think he might just be the only one. Another set of mediums going under him, so and a fresh wing, so there has been contact somewhere. Major and Abmo, of course, after that spin, and probably damage the other drivers to pit. Oh, and Funza now gets a drive-through penalty, and I think Luke got one as well. Yes, they did, so these two drivers need to serve a drive-through penalty within 3 laps. But luckily nothing all too dramatic at the front, where the battle will resume. It's Robin against MBMA. But with the gap being 6/10, the very short back straight will not be enough to be thinking about any moves. So Sven has made it past. And Oswaldo is there in the mix. Can he get the car stopped on time? No, he can't. And runs over the gravel with all kinds of dirt in his tires, and Lars hits the back of Oswaldo. A really aggressive lunge from Oswaldo, to be honest. But Sven now back up to 5th. And Robin has made a move for the lead with the virtual safety car, and Lars gets a 5 seconds for speeding, so his race really went down south in a matter of 30 seconds. But Robin is your new race leader at his home race in the Netherlands. The championship leader he is. He's looking to really grow his gap on Sven. But really well done from MBMA to be able to hold the lead for so long, and he could still contest for it. Netherlands not particularly known for the track limit penalties, as Jay O'Leary is also having a good race. He's gotten past Osvaldo right amidst that mess where he had the dirt in his tires. A terrible exit from Osvaldo. Summit Turkmen looking from behind. Looks to the inside. Will he have the lunge? Yes, he will. Can he get the car stopped on time? Forces Osvaldo off, and dirt yet again in Osvaldo's tires. Ferrari now looking to the inside on the next corner, and past goes Summit into 7th position with DRS assistance also, so Summit makes the move work. And MBMA still able to stick close by to Robin, at least for now. Honda now still has a drive-through penalty to serve, so his race here this evening has also headed on. So that Robin has a major moment, clips the grass on the outside, but is somehow able to hold on to that Mercedes and keep the nose pointing in the right direction. As this battle is going to now continue after that error from Robin. MBMA has a bit of a bad exit there, but he's going to be now able to open up the DRS, and he is. Will that assistance be enough? MBMA against Robin. Will the driver swap places once more? MBMA looks to the inside of Robin, and I think he's got this move in the bag. So MBMA here is the lead once more, but Robin looking to get it right back, but wisely backs out. There's just no room for two drivers to go side by side through turn 2. But more crucially, MBMA is now slowing down Robin to allow the drivers behind them closer, as Kronig gets the new fastest lap of 1:12.3. So after that stop and the wing change, he's really picked up the pace. As now Gazelle goes through the gravel. But nothing all that dramatic. Jay O'Leary sticking close by to Sven. And through the back straight we go. Robin has been able to stick very close to MBMA, so I think the leading pair will swap places once more. Robin opens up the DRS. MBMA is deploying his DRS, so I think the lead will stay for now. Unless Robin takes a lunge, and wisely he doesn't. To be quite honest with you, Robin doesn't really need this win. He just needs to keep Sven behind. Of course, the more he has the gap, which he has the potential to grow to 41 points if Sven doesn't finish and Robin wins, then he just would need to put the icing on the cake next week, but I don't know. Let's see this through. There's only been one virtual safety car thus far, and with every driver still present in the race. Nice bit of clean racing for the Tier 3 guys. As Robin is still sticking close by, MBMA should have the ERS to still defend his position. Leading this Dutch Grand Prix. On the main straight we go once more. MBMA isn't deploying his ERS this time. Is the gap small enough for Robin to think of a move? Robin down the inside of MBMA. Side by side the two drivers go. Which of the drivers will have the better exit? And it's Robin. So Robin back up into the lead, and the leading pair swap places once more. And here's Osvaldo and Summit banging wheels, the Ferrari and the Alpine, and Osvaldo this time around is able to complete the move for 7th. I did not see the pause which led to that situation where the drivers hit each other, so cannot really speculate was there any dirty driving involved. As I think apart from the lead too, the gaps have stabilized a bit as of now. Jay O'Leary is still trying to retain the DRS on Sven. But MBMA, man, he has been particularly pacey here this fine evening, grabbing the pole and now fighting for the win against Robin. Opens up the DRS once more and is deploying his ERS, and I think it's going to be easy pickings. There's yellow flags in sector 2, and that is Luke. He has spun, but he gets the car going again, and there will be no need for a safety car this time around. MBMA and Robin still fighting for the lead, with MBMA now crucially taking the lead off of Robin's hands. As right around now, or at least in 2-3 laps time, those mediums are going to start to deteriorate, and then Gazelle should have the advantage. Gazelle with only 6 tenths behind on Jamie. And I think these two are going to race each other to the end as well, as Summit and Osvaldo have swapped places more than once. On the back straight we go once more. Osvaldo has a twitch with the rear end, but don't think the straight is going to have enough length unless Summit thinks for a dive. No, he does not. Oh, Jamie has a massive moment, a massive crash in the final corner, loses the rear and hits the end wall and loses his wing and has to pit for repairs. And into P3 goes Cassell. It was extremely close. Cassell just got the car turning in time to avoid the Williams, which from the impact sprung right back into the racing track, as Sven and Jay O'Leary are still having this tussle here, but with Sven retaining his P4. Wow, Jamie is lucky to have his car in the race, as the leading packer still, or sorry, I should say leading pair, is still fighting for positions as Jamie rejoins the track behind this fight right here, where Lars and Major are going at it. So quite a few pairs fighting for positions now, with 12 laps of racing under our belts, with only one virtual safety car, so nice job tier 3. At least for now. And Robin opens up his wing once more. Will the lead change hands once more? I think it will. Robin looks to the inside, and that's a relatively easy move. Robin takes the lead right back, but this is actually very beneficial for the leading pair not to lose time for each other. They're just swapping positions every lap. A Summit, by the way, has made a move past Osvaldo once more. And let's see if Osvaldo can still stay close. Jay O'Leary and Sven also fighting. Let's see about this one right here then. So Jamie goes to the inside of Major and is able to go 13th. And now the contest Lars, another fast driver ahead of him. Lars was actually looking quite strong in the early stages, but then had the unfortunate damage and the penalty, and here's now Jamie. Is he looking to contest the turn? I think that's turn 5. No, not quite yet. It's so narrow. Two drivers, there's just no way for two drivers to go side by side through there, as the positions will now stay as they are, unless Jamie is thinking to make an attempt on the ladder of the DRS straights. Only 1/10 between the drivers. Lars defends the inside and allows no space for Jamie. Jamie should have looked to the outside once he made the move, and there's yellow flags in sector 3. That's Stitchy Boom. With the seemingly intact front wing is able to continue and no need for safety cars. But a safety car now for the medium runners would be a gift from the heavens, as now Jamie is able to make the move past Lars. Nothing doing for Lars there. whose light is blinking, so every bit of ERS spent, and we haven't even done half of the race thus far. As Jamie and Lars are still going at it, slower car, Boom slowing them right down after his spin. Side by side the two drivers go. The drivers need to be extremely careful going through the narrow spaces there. And Lars regains his positions. But Boom with the Wern and now dirty tires is trying to keep the two drivers behind of them. With DRS open for both. Still going at it. Meanwhile at the top Robin has solidified his lead. And it's MBMA is not able to stay as close behind as he would want. As here's Booma making him move past Arctic Squirrel, the other Aston Martin. With Groner now looking to contest to turn 2, not be able to do so. And Tichy without DRS is going to be the losing party. Lars goes extremely deep and Jamie says thank you very much. And takes 11th out of his hands. So at the top, I do feel like MBMA is starting to suffer from tire wear, as he just barely is able to retain DRS on Robin, but I think he just might drop it now. Not quite. So DRS advantage for him still. As Groner now on the back straight has made it past Arctic Squirrel, even though Arctic Squirrel had the DRS of his own. But through goes Groner into 9th position. So MBMA got a bit closer to our race leader Robin, but not close enough to think of a move. Same goes for O'Leary. Major close to Tichy, but he pits right behind his teammate, so double stacking at Aston. Drivers were that far apart of each other, I don't think they slowed each other down. As here's Abmo trying to clear the rejoining Squirrel, and is able to do so. But Abmo does have 11 laps on his tires. Will that be enough of tire wear to slow him down? As here's the leading pair once more. 4/10 is the gap. Robin trying to break the toe, but isn't quite able to do so, and MBMA will regain the lead once more. The leading two have swapped places, I don't even know how many times, but they have also managed to grow the gap to Cassell in third to 5 seconds almost. So the leading two are seemingly being in the class of their own today. And Sven isn't looking particularly pacey here tonight, so it just might be that Robin, if he manages to win, he will grow his gap. Of course with P2 even, but still I think this round just might go Robin's way. As here's Booma trying to defend from Groner. Groner with a bit newer tires after the early collision he had and had to have his wing changed. Now onto the back straight. Groner opens up his wing. Is he looking to go to the outside? Interestingly, into the braking zone goes Groner with a beautiful move from around the outside, which will then become the inside for the latter part of the stadium sections. And Sven and O'Leary have now pitted from lap 17. So Sven and Jay O'Leary, the fighting pair, have now pitted, and seemingly no repairs for either. Let's see how this pit battle is going to go. Sven is going to rejoin back ahead of Jay O'Leary, and into the hard tire they go as Groner and Booma are having yet another fight. Booma regaining the position he just lost, and I do think Don't know how powerful the undercut is around Zandvoort, but I do think the leading pairs should pit right now. As they, I think they just might be able to rejoin ahead of Buma. It could be tight, but still. Buma now holding up the charging Grona. Hits the back even. Nothing too dramatic there, unfortunately. I mean, nothing too bad there, luckily. And into the pits heads Robin. MBMA stays out, so Robin trying to undercut MBMA. Let's see how this will be, because this will be a fight for the race win. Oh, nearly gets held up by Cazell, who also pits for the hard tire. Let's see where the drivers will rejoin. So Robin will at least be comfortably ahead of Buma and Grona, who are fighting very hard. And Grona takes the inside line, and Cazell, he's gonna end up behind the traffic, but just ahead of his teammate. So Sven gained at least 2 or 3 seconds with the earlier pit stop. So MBMA should be in the pits yesterday. He is gonna lose this lead, but by how much will he lose out on? That we will see shortly, as Cazell shouldn't hold up his teammate for all that long, but it still Buma holding up the 2 Alpha Tauris here, as Grona has now grown the gap. MBMA still stays out, and that will mean he's waiting, and Cazell goes for a move on Buma. Will the 2 drivers leave each other enough space? Yes, they will, and through goes Cazell. So Cazell not really giving his teammate any no favors at Alpha Tauri this evening, as DRS wide open for Sven now. Goes to the inside line, and I think this should be in the bag, and yes it is. Oh, and Buma has a moment with the rear, and will Jay O'Leary say thank you very much. Side by side the 2 drivers go, and Buma just retains his position. And this fight will continue, as Cazell is now trying to look way past Grona, who's got a whole bunch of wear and ERS. He's run all out of it. But by not pitting, MBMA is definitely gonna let this win slip past his hands, unless there is a rogue safety car, and then he would have the advantage. And he will try and count on the safety car. But with 20 laps on those mediums, it's not gonna be fun, and he has already dropped 3 seconds to Robin. So if there is no safety cars or anything, Robin will be a clear winner here. As Cazell now looking to attack Grona, who should pit, and he will. What about Sven then? Is Cazell gonna give his teammate, who is a championship rival, any favors? Of course, Cazell with the softer compound tire should be faster, but at least not right now. As now we see the Buma train, Jamie going to the inside in the exit of 3, and Buma covers him off. But Buma also with 20 laps is yet to pit. Those tires are extremely worn out, and there's a retirement for Luke, and that is a safety car that will benefit MBMA massively. A huge turn of events where Luke loses his Alfa Romeo into the barriers at the final corner, and that's gonna allow MBMA to have a free pit stop, and this is now a whole new race. Buma, of course, he's gonna lose some positions while pitting, but boy, MBMA is also interestingly gonna pick the soft tires. He will be extremely rapid early and should rejoin ahead of Robin. And yes, he will. So MBMA, Luke's retirement plays it straight into his hands. And MBMA with the track position, with the tire advantage, is looking now extremely likely for him to win. Of course, with the soft tires, which will wear super fast, needs to be extremely careful now. No, not to warm them up all that much, to allow the tires to go to the flag comfortably. But boy, is that a twist in the tail now. So a good variety of tires. Almost everyone has stopped for a fresh set of rubber. MBMA definitely the biggest driver, or at least the driver who benefited the most. Of course, Sven did pit too for a fresh set of medium. Will be strong against Summit and needs to be, in order for Robin not to grow his gap all that much. Robin stayed out with virtually new hard tires, but they are still gonna be slower than the softer compounds. And interestingly, I do think, if I had to bet money on it, I would say MBMA will take this. He's been so fast and no real mistakes really. He's just swapped places with Robin. Now need to be careful not to overtake the safety car, because that's an almost near instant disqualification, but still. So as it stands, Robin would gain 8 points on Sven, and that would grow the gap to 23 points with 2 races still to go in the ALR Season 13. And that would definitely create a lot of stakes going into the next race, which will be held at a track I don't quite remember. It's going to be Great Britain, so heading into Silverstone. There Robin would only need, boy am I bad at math, but he would need at least 4 points to clinch the title at the next race. But let's not speculate all that much, as the grid is nearly bunched up together, and it might just be that safety car will enter the pits after this lap, or will it? It depends on how fast Fontenau will catch the pack, and I do think the safety car will be out for one more lap, and that's gonna help MBMA to save it. Oh, it's gonna be an extremely late call! So safety car will enter the pits now, with MBMA leading the restart. That was an extremely late call, and now it's basically just a reaction game for MBMA. When he decides to floor it, it's going to be at the absolute final minute, and he does it now. Samet Turkmen nearly gets Cassel instantly. I think he was ahead at the line, so he had to give it back. So extremely late restart from MBMA, and Sven gets past Samet immediately with the better tire, and is now looking to attack his teammate, and more crucially the championship leader Alex Robin. So Sven being gifted a chance to get back into this title race, with MBMA now leading the pack. No penalties except for Teachboom. I think that's a 5 second for speeding into the pits, and MBMA has already got a 1.2 second lead, and really needs to do so. He needs to pull out a gap so that there will not be any harm done when he starts to slow down towards the end with softer compounded tire. Summit is holding up a train along with Grone, and that is probably due to the harder compound tires. Sven now 7 tenths behind his teammate, and more crucially Cassel with just 3 tenths. Robin places his car in the middle of the track, and Cassel is too far away to think of any moves, as here's Grone against Summit. So Grone getting past Summit for 5th. And this battle is also going to rage on, and Summit hits the back of Grone and nearly spins him. But the positions stay as they are. The two drivers on the hard tires lost some time. And there's a massive train developing in behind of them. With the gap growing ever larger at the front, the DRS will be enabled after this lap. And Robin not quite getting away from Cazelle. Was that the MBMA is just gone, man. And Lars has had to pit once more, so really not a good day for the McLaren drivers here this evening. 3/10 is the gap. Is Cazelle gonna deploy his DRS against Robin now? Is he gonna clear Robin before the DRS even comes alive? He's deploying. MBMA is just gone with a 1:11.2. Cazelle on Robin, goes down the inside. Side by side the two drivers go. Robin is trying to hang around the outside. Side by side the two drivers go. How will it be going to turn 2? Still side by side in turn 3. Robin is able to stay ahead, but boy, that is a fight and a half. Extremely good and respectful racing between the two drivers. And Sven circling the scene like a vulture, smelling the opportunity to outscore his championship rival Robin, but with his teammate in the mix. It's gonna be interesting. Sven clips the curb just a tiny bit and hangs a bit further to the pack, whilst Abmo has made it past Jay O'Leary. So that's at least one McLaren in the points, as it stands, at least. As the two hard drivers not giving up an inch, but more interestingly, it's gonna be DRS open this time. Cazelle against Robin, round 2. Robin not even deploying his DRS. Cazelle gets past very easily. What about Sven then? The two championship rivals now next to each other, with Sven with the tire advantage. Meanwhile, Summit has defended successfully against Jamie, but this is now our main focus point, as Robin with the older, harder tires is gonna struggle. There's still 8 exciting laps to go. And Cazelle seemingly not getting away from Robin, and it is absolutely crucial for Robin to stay within the DRS, or unless he wants to get passed by Sven and lose the advantage. DRS of course opens up for Robin, and what Cazelle is doing is definitely not benefiting his teammate, because he's just allowing Robin to have the DRS and keep Sven behind. DRS open, 5/10 is the gap, nowhere near close enough. Where Sven has to deal with Grone now, trying to attack from behind, but isn't quite close enough behind of them. Summit and Jamie, round 2, still goes to Summit's favor. And the positions stay as they are as of now. Jay O'Leary retires in the pit, so I don't think that will be a safety car. So this is the main pack, the main focus of this race, the main focus of the title race even. MBMA has grown his gap to 5 seconds already, and is looking extremely strong to win here tonight. Sven gets a bad exit, Robin gets a better one. Sven has to hang back for now, but he is going to retain the DRS advantage, but he has to deal with the drivers attacking from behind. So let's see now, Robin against Cazelle. I think this was like round 3 or 4. Robin not really deploying the ERS, but with the DRS advantage is going to be able to keep a comfortable margin to Sven behind of him. Meanwhile, Summit attacks on Grone. And Sven has had a spin! Sven has had a spin, but somehow manages to keep the two drivers behind of them. As side by side the two drivers go. And something has happened with the lobby. something pretty catastrophic. And that will definitely not be the finishing standings. Nowhere near enough racing behind of us. But it would seem that Jay O'Leary leaving the session as a host has broken the lobby. So, not quite the conclusion we were waiting for. I think I might just... I think I got yeeted from the session because no one has reacted in the chat. Let's see if I'm able to join back. Right, so luckily the only one whose lobby broke was me, and we will be able to rejoin on the racing action here, as there is still 5 laps to go. Gazelle and Robin still holding on to the train. Sven had that tiny bit of spin earlier on, and Jamie has managed to get past the hard runners, and so has Booma cleared Summit. So the racing is going to continue as Gazelle's tires, I think they're starting to wear out. Robin with the harder compound should have more life in them. Opens up the DRS, back straight. Is he going to be able to make the move just yet? Wisely, I think he will hang back as of now, as MBMA he's just off. 7 seconds is the lead, but of course with 9 laps already in those soft tires, it's going to be risky going to the end. Robin opens up the DRS once more. Gazelle has a tiny bit of twitch there. Robin deploys the ERS, goes to the outside, interestingly. Break at the 50-meter board, side by side the 2 drivers go. Gazelle against Robin, and Robin makes the move stick round the outside with a beautiful move. Takes back the P2 that was once his, and Jamie is looking now to contest Sven for 4th into turn 3, but isn't quite able to do so. Gazelle and Robin are still going to fight. The sponsor now crashes, and that will be a safety car. After turn 2, was there contact involved? He was in the outside wall there. A late safety car, so that will complete reset, and Robin gets a drive-through penalty. Robin gets a drive-through penalty, and this will blow the championship race wide open. What happened? Did he not see the delta, or? It might be just the game doing tricks, to be honest. But you cannot serve to drive through a penalty through a safety car period, so that's effectively put Robin into last. And Sven is gonna be laughing at his cockpit. Into the pits goes Robin. I might as well retire because that's effectively ended his race. A really unfortunate but dramatic mistake. Puts Robin into the back, and remember, with the lead being 15 points, Sven can even the score here. He just needs to finish as he is now. Safety car should enter the pits after this lap. Sorry, after the next lap, of course. So, definitely not a lot of time for Robin to catch on to anyone, really. And has stopped for the soft tires now. To try and bear it through. He's still in 10th, but I don't think he will finish on the points anymore. And interestingly, this tail takes one more turn, and of course with MBMA on the soft tires leading the race, he's able to save them, but the real question is, after 11 laps on the soft tires, are they still gonna have enough life in them? Same goes for Kazal with 14 laps in these mediums. How good will they be against Sven going to the end? And Jamie also, the pacey driver he is, might also have a chance to challenge going forward. As the safety car will be out for one more lap. And just as I thought the win was basically settled, it's not anymore. And MBMA is gonna have to pull the gap once more in order to win the Dutch Grand Prix. He's gotta be the driver of the day, in my opinion. Nobody really expected for him to finish this high. But here he is, the man from Sweden, I think. I think I should be rooting for him as I'm a Finnish person, but we will see. I'm just a fan of good racing. And the safety car's got to enter the pits, and it will be a 2-lap shootout to the end. Who has got the most life in his tires? Robin with the drive-through penalty. He's gonna head into the back. And the call should not be late this time around. It should be right where around this straight, and it is. So MBMA is gonna lead the restart for one more time, one final time, with just 2 laps until the checker. Alpha Tower is behind of him, from which Kazal probably has a fair bit of wear in his tires. Of course, all the drivers are going to be able to save fuel and ERS, and MBMA is going to go extremely deep with the restart once more. We see the green bar right there on the bottom of the screen. Once that fills up, it's back to green flag racing. And he's going to wait until the final moment. And he's off. There's a crash in behind of them. I don't know who was involved. It was Samet, unfortunately, and he's missing his entire wing. And that's going to be discussed at the stewards room afterwards. And Robin is just a missile trying to attack. Oh, and there's even more crashes. Lars hits the wall and he's out of the session. And same goes for Arctic, so a whole lot of incidents here late. After that, a wee bit dodgy restart from MBMA, who is just holding on to the lead as it stands, but with the AlphaTauri so close together, it's still going to be contested, but only 11 drivers still in this race. We're about to start the final lap of the Dutch Grand Prix. Robin yet to serve his drive-through. And I don't think Robin will score any points. As here we go, round the final corner. MBMA will lead us, starting the final lap of the session. No DRS to be deployed. Oh, and Sven has to defend from Jamie, who has the inside line. Will he be able to retain it? Jamie to the inside. Sven is trying to soldier it through around the outside. Side by side, the 2 drivers go into turn 2. Will the 2 drivers come out alive? And yes, they will. Sven will retain his position and groan and nearly hits the back of Jamie. Jamie gets the switch back, but Sven just is able to defend. A massive battle which could change the tail on the drivers' championship. Robin has rejoined 11th after his drive-through, so he will not score any points here. And I don't think Castle has got what it takes to challenge MBMA for the win. So the soft tires were the right call. That earlier safety car, and there's a yellow flag. It's Ditchy Boom. It's Ditchy Boom after I think he collided with Osvaldo. He's in 10th, but let's see now. The driver's about to cross the line to finish this Dutch Grand Prix. MBMA 05, the man from Sweden, hoisting the Ferrari colors ever so high, is gonna be your winner at the Dutch Grand Prix here in Tier 3. Gazelle comes home second with Sven, just able to keep Jamie behind to even up the score in the Drivers' Championship. Wow, in the Silverstone, the leading two are gonna be neck and neck in the Drivers' Championships, and wow. And Booma picks the Codemaster selected driver of the day. So, running through the finishing order, MBMA, after a fantastic drive, is able to pick up the pole, win, and the fastest lap. So a grand slam for MBMA here in the Netherlands. Kassel comes home second, and Sven evens the score in the Drivers' Championship, with Jamie just missing out and finishing 4th. Grone in 5th, Puma comes home 6th, Abmo in 7th, Major in 8th. Osvaldo is able to pick up the points in 9th. Tichipum in 10th. And boy, that is unfortunate for Robin. Robin picks up, the championship leader picks up a late drive-through penalty and misses out on the points entirely. So it's gonna be all even Steven heading into Silverstone exactly 1 week from here. Apologies for the technical difficulties earlier on in the stream. But next time around we will be heading into Silverstone neck and neck, with 2 drivers still able to win, contest for the Drivers' Championship, and that would be Sven the Man and ex-Robin. My name is Alupallo. Thank you Tier 3 drivers for the action, and we will see you next week. Good night.